Have you ever experienced a sudden death of a lost one? I tell you what, that's a different grief than I've ever had before. You know, with my first wife, Leslie, we were given that time to close out our journey together, to say the things that we needed to say, to make things right if there was a need to make things right, to say our goodbyes, and of course, giving them permission to transition. But also, it prepared me a little bit, as much as you can be prepared for life without her. When a loved one dies suddenly, those opportunities aren't there. You know, Arcee and I, we were together for about 3.5 years, and she was very, very instrumental to helping me repurpose my life and giving me the confidence to do stuff that I've never done before. And so we decided to take a little bit of time from each other, take a little break from each other. And a couple months later, the day before her birthday, she would celebrate her birthday by taking a helicopter ride down the coast. Found out about the trip when her son-in-law called me. Arcee died in a helicopter crash. You know, there's really no perfect way to receive or to give that kind of information. Angelo did not mix any words, and he gave it straight to me, and I appreciate that. But one thing I will never forget is the feeling that I had. This news just seemed so unreal. What was he saying? How would he say something like that? I was denying any type of that information. That didn't happen. I simply couldn't breathe. My heart rate began to skyrocket. It was just bouncing all over my chest. My head was swimming. I didn't know what to think. All I remember was hanging up the phone and just kind of screaming out loud. And I've never screamed like that before. This didn't happen. This didn't happen. Well, I'm just going to text my kids with the information because I couldn't talk. My daughter, she got in the car and she drove without even asking. Let me tell you, folks, that's the perfect response, by the way, to these types of situations. Just show up. You don't have to say anything, but just help me cry. And she did that. There was so much unfinished business, though, between Arcee and I. You know, our last words we had together, they weren't kind. And that kind of leaves a lot of regret and guilt, which happens a lot with people who lose someone suddenly, because we never had that chance to ask forgiveness, to restore what was broken in our relationship. We never got to thank each other for changing each other's lives, for her changing mine especially, for loving me the only way that she could. I never got to thank her for loving my children the way that she did and allowing me to love her daughters and her family, to be a big part of her family. I couldn't prepare myself for life that was going to be without her to the best way that I could. You know, that first phase of grief when you lose somebody suddenly, it's like a bomb just blows up inside of you. I didn't know if I was going to survive because everything inside of me was so chaotic. And not just for me, but then also her family, especially her daughters who just adored her. Saying goodbye is so important when closing out a relationship with someone you love. And I had to learn new methods to resolve the regret, to say my goodbye to Arcee, to find reconciliation with Arcee, and also even today to continue to rely on her beautiful spirit in my repurposed life. There is a way to find peace. It's not easy. And I'll share some of the ways that I discovered it through my journey with her grief. I'll do that on another video. But if you've lost someone suddenly, leave a comment on how you're doing or what you did that was helpful to you. Ask questions, seek support, whatever I can do. Direct message me anytime. And if you know somebody who lost another person suddenly, please share the video. Please have them comment and reach out to me. We got this together, people. Ciao.